Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Usually I'd be saying it's the 5th of February for a February vlog, but I'm actually starting this on the 29th of January. I'm starting slightly early. If you saw my January wrap up, which I will link below if I have internet at the time that I post this, probably I won't, but it'll be on the channel. I had to finish my January vlog a little bit early because as I'm filming this weekend we're going to London because Charlie's got a jiu-jitsu tournament or competition. And so I had to finish it a little bit quick, early to get it uploaded in time. And then I'm starting this early. I haven't even started B-roll vlogging yet because I need to sort out what I'm reading, and to do that I need to roll. So I am playing Forensic February, or taking part in Forensic February this month, which is being run by my lovely friend Chloe from Chloe Reads Books. She's created this really cool board. I've stuck this is a very Blue Peter, but I have stuck this, I've cut it out, it's not very straight, we don't need to look at that, stuck it onto a bit of cardboard and then covered it in sellotape to make it playable. So this is my version of the board. For a playing piece, I have got this People to Avoid pin, and it's volume 3, which I got ages ago. And I think my friend Hayley gave me this ages ago, or it might have come in a PR package, but I can't remember. But I thought this would just be a fun little playing piece. And then I've got my pink, because it's a Chloe Readathon, 6-sided dice. So what I'm going to do is I need to roll. We're going to do 3 rolls to start us off. I'm going to roll. I saw Chloe put up her TBR video, which again, if I can, I will link it in the description. If not, she'll be linked. You can find it on her channel. And she did all of her rolls for the month. I'm just going to roll as I go, because I think it'll be more exciting. So we're going to do 3 rolls to start us off, which I'll do in a second. I do have 9 books stacked up here, which are my priority reads for February. So I've got 2 rereads, I've got 2 arcs, and then the others are just books I would quite like to read this month. I've got a book that came in last month that I didn't manage to read. So we're going to aim for those, but we'll see what the rolls give us. So yeah, I'm now going to attempt to do a fancy layout so that you can see what I'm rolling, and then we'll see which books fit the prompts. Okay, that's just taken me an embarrassingly long time to figure out. I know you can also see the bottom of the tripod, which is just down here. Apologies for that. This is the best we've got. So I've got the board. We have to start off the board. There are a couple of squares I would like to avoid. I think there's a buddy read one. I would like to avoid that. But other than that, we will see what we got. I've already shown you my playing piece, which I'm just going to put there, and we are going to roll. Okay, so roll number 1 is a 1. Start here, enter the detective mystery thriller. Okay, so that's the first roll. Second roll, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Weapon on the cover. Murder weapon on the cover. And final roll for now, a 1. Clothing matches your outfit. Okay, let's go and hunt for some books. Okay, that was such a kerfuffle. I'm also not sure that you're straight right now. Is that better? I don't think it is. Okay, so the first roll that I got was Enter the Detective, so mystery thriller. So for that one, I have decided to go for The Paris Express by Emma Donoghue. I was lucky enough to get sent an arc of this by Book Break. Thank you so very much, Book Break. This comes out in March, so obviously I want to read it in February. And this is set on a train headed to Paris. And it just says the turn of the century is approaching and Paris is as chaotic as it is glamorous, etc, etc. Aboard the train are others from across the globe, the railway crew who have built a life together away from their wives, a little boy travelling alone for the first time, an artist far from home, a wealthy statesman and his invalid wife, and a medical student who suspects a fellow passenger may be dying. As Europe races towards the future and the train speeds towards the city of light, each passenger carries secrets that could prove fatal. So I think this meets that quite well. So that's my first roll. Second roll was Weapon on the cover, and then I was looking at my priority stack and I was like, perfect, because I'm desperate to reread this book. I think I've been looking the wrong way. Perfect to reread this book, and it's got lots of weapons on the cover, and this is this gorgeous edition of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. And actually, if I tilt it that way, you can see all these different weapons on the cover. It is a reread. Charlie picked this for me for Christmas. I'm so excited to read it again, particularly in this edition. And yeah, I thought that one fit nicely. And then the last roll that I got was Clothing Matches Your Outfit. I'm wearing a black jumper with coloured stars on. This might be stretching it a bit. Chloe will tell me off maybe. She probably won't because she's lovely. But I was looking at my stack. I didn't have anything in the stack that had stars on the cover, but I do have this, which is mostly black. And I feel like my jumper and also my jeans are black as well. It's like mostly black. So I'm going to go with the Witchcraft for Weyward Girls by Grady Hendrix. Again, I was sent this by Book Break in January. I'm so excited to read this. I also think it fits in with the whole like kind of dark fiction vibe that Chloe's going for, and you know, it's mostly black like my jumper. So yeah, so these are my first 3 reads of the month. I'm very excited about it, and yeah, really enjoyed playing the game, and we'll see what we get in the next roll. So yeah, I'll see you back in a few days time. We're off to London, so I'll take you along for that, and obviously I need to do some reading, and then I will come and chat to you probably once we're home. It's the 8th of February. I've finished 1 book and I've not spoken to you for over a week. So whoops. So I'm in a reading slump. I'm also in a creating slump. By the time you see this, you'll have seen the community tab where I said I'm not putting any content up until March now. It is sort of a creativity slump. I've got ideas, I've got stuff I want to do. I just don't have the time to fit it in with everything else. Oh, hello, Molly. Molly says she's been very cuddly this morning, haven't you, little one? You gonna come and say hi? You say hello? She's like, maybe. No. Her bed's there. You are sat on top of a basket that's normally got her bed on it, so she's curled up on her bed there. You can just see her there. Yeah, I have got loads of ideas of stuff that I want to do, but I just don't at the moment have time to fit it in with everything else. Our weekends have suddenly got really busy. I feel like we're back to like pre-pandemic levels of stuff to do on weekends, and that's making it a bit tricky to fit in other things. Plus, my days off, the last couple of days off have been used to do house stuff. Sorry, she's now demanding head strokes. Let me show you her. Hang on. Here she is. The tiny, sassy queen that is Molly Pops. Hello. Oh, let's see if I can put this back where I had it now. Okay. Yeah, I've been used to like go to the bathroom showroom and all that sort of stuff. Plus, I think I've said plus about 500 times. In the old house, Gary was in the 3rd bedroom with the door shut working, so I could film downstairs on my days off. But now we've only got the one room open downstairs where he's working at one end. So obviously I can't film in there whilst he's working. So it's just making it a little bit tricky to fit everything in. And I was basically making myself a bit crazy trying to make it all fit, and it was just like, this just doesn't work right now. So I'm taking a break until March. I think I've probably already said in this vlog that I'm going away week after next as I'm filming this, and that is going to be a space for me to read and sleep and relax, but also to create. There's loads of videos that I want to make whilst I'm there. I think I've got 3 or 4 that I want to film, and then hopefully you guys will have content for March. So that's what's been going on with that. Last weekend, as you'll have seen from the B-roll, we took Charlie to his jiu-jitsu competition. It was up in London at Docklands at one of the universities, and it was huge. I did take B-roll, but like it probably didn't give you the scale. There were 1,900 competitors, plus their coaches, their friends and family, their siblings, all that sort of stuff. So it was a big, oh hello, it was a big thing. She really wants to get on my lap, but I'm kind of sat cross-legged, so there isn't really a lap for her to sit on. And if I try and pick her up, she'll jump down. Hi, she's been looking for attention loads this morning, which is not like her. She's now going to sit on the bed and glare at me until I go and sit up there with her. So yeah, it was huge. It was really good. Charlie really enjoyed it. It was a very, very long couple of days. We left Friday night very late, went and stayed at my aunt and uncle's. We were there for like 7 hours, then left at ridiculous o'clock in the morning because we had to be in London for about 7:30 in the morning. But it was worth it. Charlie came third in his group, and so he got a bronze medal, so that was really cool. That's his first jiu-jitsu medal, so that's very exciting. Actually today as I'm filming, he's at another one in Bournemouth with his mum, so hopefully we'll get a text later to see how he got on with that. And yeah, it was a very long day. We didn't get home till late on Saturday, but it was worth it because he had a really good time. And basically I gave myself some time off from filming even B-roll. I have filmed a bit of B-roll of the table and stuff this morning, but I'm going to put that in the next clip, so you'll see that in a minute, just because I think it will make more sense. Work's been really intense as ever this week, and then today we've got my mum and my brother coming. We're doing Christmas. They got that really horrible flu thing over Christmas, so we didn't see them, and we haven't seen them since. So they're coming here. We normally meet halfway, but they haven't seen the house, so they're going to come and see the house and see us, and I'm cooking a roast and we're going to do presents. So it's basically just Christmas. Oh, that's Molly jumping up. I know this is usually where your bed is, but I'm filming right now. She's now on the windowsill. Apologies for this really loud crackling. Like I said, you're on like a wicker basket thing. Yeah, so we've got Mum and Ben coming, which is going to be so nice. I'm so excited to see them. I'm so excited for them to see the house. And yeah, cooking a roast and all that good stuff. And then what else is happening? One more week of school. And then we're on half term for a week, which is a very welcome gasp of air before we go back into term 4. It's also Grandma Joyce's 95th birthday tomorrow. So we are seeing her next weekend for lunch. So yeah, there's loads of really nice things going on. I'm just not really reading, and I'm not really in the mood to film, so I just haven't been making myself film. I'm trying to take my own advice where I'm like, you can't pour from an empty cup. So I'm just trying to do things to recharge myself a bit. So yeah, I have finished one book and I've given it 5 stars, and I'm obsessed enough that I've pre-ordered the special Waterstones edition of the author's next book, and I really want the special Waterstones edition of this book, but it's currently unavailable, which I think is because the second book from the author is about to come out. Because I picked this up on audio. But yeah, I absolutely love this book. My friend Olive, who is our school librarian, recommended it. My boss had also read it and loved it. And then I saw it on Everand and I was like, give it a go. I had really low expectations and I gave it 5 stars. And that book, I've got it on a little slip here, was Weyward by Emilia Hart. And the version that I listened to was narrated. There were 3 narrators. Aisha, Carla, Helen Keeley and Nell Barlow did a fantastic job. And this is a feminist non-fiction horror, I would say. We've got 3 different stories interwoven, so we are following, I can't remember what her name is, but we're back in the 1600s where a woman is on trial for being a witch. We're with, I can't remember any of their names, this is what happens because I finished it like a week ago. We're then in World War II with a young girl who is growing up in a manor house, and we're in modern day where a woman is escaping an abusive boyfriend. And they are all connected to this cottage called Weyward, and that's all I'm going to tell you because that's all I knew going in. Like I said, I had like no expectations. I feel like I've read a lot of books about the witch trials, and World War II doesn't tend to be a period of history that I have loads of interest in reading about. So I was kind of like, meh, I'll just listen to it while I drove to work, it's no big deal. And then I became completely obsessed. I was listening to it at every given opportunity. The writing is stunning. The way the stories fit inside one another is so well done. It is a book about being a woman. It is about feminine power. It is about how we are all connected. It is about the power of nature. It was just really one of those empowering books. I got to the end and I was like, yes, I loved that story. Massive content warnings for domestic abuse and violence, rape and sexual assault, discussions of stillbirth, miscarriage and abortion, childbirth, death, all of that kind of thing, torture. Look, there are bits of this that are really dark, and there are also bits, which is why I said it's kind of like a feminist literary fiction horror, because there are some parts of this that are so visceral. Also a content warning for birds, specifically crows, and insects, specifically bees, and I can't remember what the other one was. It's like some sort of like bug, so just be aware of that. But I thought this was fantastic. I'm going to wait and try and get the hardback special edition with the sprayed edges, because she's got another book called The Sirens, which is actually coming out on the 13th, so you should see me unbox that shortly. And that's got sprayed edges, and I'm very excited to pick it up. Like, it's made me so excited to read her next book. Like, she's become like an autobiography author. Like, that's how good this book was. So highly recommend it if you can handle those content warnings. Obviously check for any others, because I may not have covered them all. So that's the one and only book I've read. I have been doing a little bit of online shopping because that is what we do when we're feeling a little bit slumpy. And I bought some more, I'm going to fold the box so you can't see my address. I bought some more, what are they called? What are these called? Wax melts, oh my gosh, from Handcrafted It, which I bought from before. I will link the Etsy below. Look how cute they are. Yeah, this is just on Etsy, so that's the details there. You can pause that if you want to get more information. Ooh, fire engine or something, or ambulance going there. And these are all food related. So I got hot buttered rum. I've already smelled these. This just smells so like warm and cozy. I got toasted marshmallow, which I'm obsessed with. It smells very sweet and like a little bit burnt, but in a good way. Rhubarb and custard, which is an absolute classic. I've had this before from this shop and really loved it. And Rose Wonderland, which obviously isn't a foodie one, but it kind of felt like I sort of wanted something spring-ish. Not that it's spring-like here at the moment. It was -2 degrees and snowing yesterday. Not enough to be of any use, but a few flakes fell. But yeah, I really like all of these. I have ordered, this is my, I want to say like 3rd or 4th order from this Etsy. I've now got packing stuff all over the floor. Gary's going to kill me because he's just hoovered. And yeah, I would really recommend them for sure. And then I was looking at my bookmarks, and obviously I have loads of bookmarks because I make bookmarks, but I didn't feel like I had any like that were quite fitting the vibes of the books that I'm reading. So I went on Etsy and I was looking for bookmarks, and I've ordered from the Tiny Toucan, and this is such a cute way to package things. I wrap mine in tissue paper so that it's kind of like a gift, but I really like this idea of using like paper bags. Again, I will link the Etsy below. They arrived really quickly. I also saw a chicken one, which I sent to Ali because I just knew that it would be her vibe. She's got chickens, in case you don't know her. And she texted me yesterday to say that it arrives and thank you, so that was good. Oh, these are so cute. I can't remember specifically what I ordered. This is the business card. Oh, she's put a few like other bits in here. Oh, okay, so this is the card. So it's the Tiny Toucan. Thank you for your order and for supporting my small creative business. And then Kiara, I think, or Kira. So that's really cute. That gives you an idea of the illustration style. Oh, cool. And then there's a discount code. Over £20 you can get free. That's cool. Right, I'll leave that there as well in case you were interested. And then how many did I buy? Oh yeah, 3. I've completely lost track. Oh no, 4. Yeah, I sort of ended up with like 1 for each season. So this I think was the spring one that I picked. Look how pretty that is. I can't wait to use these. And they've got tassels. I generally avoid bookmarks with tassels because I have cats, and you can have either option with the tassel or without on her Etsy. But when I saw them, they were just so pretty. So yeah, I went with that one with the pink tassel. Then summer, with these sunflowers. Sunflowers are my favourite flower, one of my favourite flowers. I also just really love this teal tassel that goes with it. You can pick your own colour of tassel, but yeah, I just thought these were so fun. And they have got on the back, they've got the Etsy store on the back. And then autumn, I saw this and I was like, look at the mushrooms, and I went with like this brown tassel for that one. And then winter, which was really what I was looking for, we've got these Arctic foxes that are just so pretty. And again with the teal. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with those. I'm going to look forward to putting those into my books. I will obviously link it below. Reading wise, I'm reading about 6 things, which is usually indicative of me being in a reading slump because I keep starting books and then not getting any further. Tomorrow, I have no plans. We have no plans except to rot. So I'm hoping to get some solid reading time in, and I've got the day off on Wednesday and I just want to curl up and do nothing but read. So I'm hoping that will help me get back into the rhythm. I do want to read, I'm just tired and don't have enough time at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, for now, I need to tidy up the packaging that I've just spilled everywhere after Gary's hoovered. Cook a roast and celebrate Christmas in February with my mum and my brother. It's the 12th of February and it's been a really weird week. And I feel like I say that every time I come and sit down and chat with you guys. I have finished 2 books and I think I'm going to finish one more today. It's my day off and I'm so tired. I had plans to go and get my hair cut and coloured and all that kind of stuff, and I just cancelled everything because I'm just so tired and worn out, and I just was like, I need a day to just sit still and just like rot basically. Also, I can't remember when I last spoke to you, but we had a brilliant time at the weekend with my mum and my brother. I feel like I was talking to you before that happened, but I can't remember. I really must start watching clips back before I film new ones. Sorry guys. But yeah, I had a really good time having mum and Ben here. And then on Monday, I had news that a family member had died. So that's obviously really sad. They had been ill for a long time, so in a lot of ways it was a relief. But yeah, it's just been a really weird few days, because it's also one of those things where like I wasn't especially close to this person. I'm not going to say who it is because obviously it's like private family stuff. I wasn't especially close to that person, but like people that I am close to are in bits about it, and it's still upsetting that they've died. I don't know, it's a whole thing, and I'm probably saying the wrong thing, so I should just say nothing. But yeah, that happened this week. And yeah, we're in the last week of term. At the weekend, we're taking grandma out for some lunch, and then she's going to come here. She has been here once, but she wants to have like a proper like poke around, I think. So yeah, so we're going to take her out for some lunch and then bring her back here so she can see the house and see Charlie, because she's not seen him for ages. And then Saturday afternoon, I'm going down to my mum's just for a flying visit. So I drive down once grandma's left, stay with mum Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Monday I'm off to the Cotswolds. So there's quite a lot going on and my brain is quite buzzy. So I'm going to talk to you about the books I've finished. Then I'm going to do more rolls to see which books I'm going to read next. I'm going to complete the board, so I'll roll until I finish the board, because I'm going to be away for 7 days, because I'm going Saturday and coming back Friday evening, so pretty much 7 days. So I'm going to need a lot of books, so I need a lot of rolls. So I'll do that in a second. But yeah, I have been finishing off some books this morning. So the first one that I finished, did I not bring it up here? Oh, I'm doing really well. Oh, it's behind me, it's there. 1 second. Okay, seriously, I'm such a mess of a human at the moment. I do apologise for the state of this vlog. Anyway, the first book that I finished this morning was The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I actually started this in January because I'm supposed to be doing 2 rereads a month. And the eagle eye amongst you will have noticed I actually completed 1. And that's because I started this in the last week of January and then it's dragged into February. So yeah, technically it's a reread from last month. This was, as I said, a reread, and it's always a 5-star. I love this story. It is very, very dark. It's very, very gothic. Check content warnings. But it's a book that I feel like it's one of those books where you properly fall into the writing. Her writing is gorgeous. I will say I've read her other books and I've never found any of them to be as good as this one. And in this one we are following, what is her name? Margaret, who is a bookseller. She runs a bookshop, a kind of antiquated bookshop with her father, and she receives a letter from a really famous author called Vida Winter, I think, and yeah, saying, I'm ready to tell my life story. And she will only tell it to Margaret. Margaret's written a few like biographies of other people, and so she goes to Miss Winter's house and it kind of unfolds from there, and it is about secrets and lies and families. And it's a book about books. It's very much influenced by books like Jane Eyre, for example, and I just absolutely love it. But yeah, check content warnings. But I've read it probably half a dozen times and it's always a 5-star, and this time was no exception. So that one didn't count for the readathon because I'd already started it. Then I picked up the first book that was actually for the readathon. This is The Paris Express by Emma Donoghue. This was for the thriller prompt. This comes out in March, and I was very lucky to get an ARC from Book Break, so thank you so much to them for sending this to me. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm filming today. I feel like this clip's going to be useless, but anyway. So we are on a train to Paris, so we're going from the countryside, French countryside, to Paris, and we are on a train, and it is 1895. We're on this train, and we know from the beginning that one of the people on the train has got onto the train with a bomb. And we basically meet people in all of the carriages, first, second and third class. We also meet the people working on the train. We uncover some of the kind of the secrets and lies amongst the passengers, connections amongst the passengers, and we're also following the person who's got the bomb. And we also occasionally get some short passages from the train itself. What I will say is I flew through this quite quickly. My reading's been really slow and stagnated, but when I actually sat down and read this book, I flew through it really fast. The chapters are short, and they're also sort of split into even shorter sections, and we're moving from one character to another, so it is a quick read. I did give this 3 stars, which means it's fine, but I didn't love it. I don't think I've ever quite managed to capture the magic that I felt when I've read The Pull of the Stars by this author, which will always be my favourite, one of my favourite books of all time. Reread that last month. I think her writing is beautiful, and there were parts of this that were really tense, but I kind of got to the end and I wasn't sure what the point was she was trying to make. And also because we are moving around all the time, there are so many characters to keep track of, and I didn't really feel connected to any of them. And I feel like for me, for this book to work, I needed to feel that connection. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I am so grateful that I got to read an early copy of it, and there will definitely be an audience for this. Like, I think my brother will like this. I'm going to send this his way. But it just didn't quite tick all the boxes for me. And then the third book that I finished today was also technically another reread, but it was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This was for the weapon on the cover, because as you can see, there are all the weapons on the cover. And this is the gorgeous, I think it's the Ultimate Mystery Edition, which Charlie got me for Christmas. I have shown this before, but I will quickly show you again. End pages. I am a bit annoyed because the gilding on here is rubbed off where I've been holding it, but also the front has got the rhyme on it, which I love and I did refer to several times. And then the kind of piece de resistance of this edition is on the back cover. It says, "Have you finished the book and identified the killer? Now open the envelope and discover if you are correct. And when you're ready, you open this," which I obviously have, but I've stuck it back down. And it's got the final chapter in there. And yeah, I loved this. This was a fantastic edition of one of my favourite books. And it's one of her standalones. 10 people kind of congregate on an island. They've all been given different stories of why they're there, and then they begin to die one by one until And Then There Were None. I would say this is probably, well, I think this is one of the darker works from her. It's definitely the darkest that I've read, which maybe is why it's my favourite. Let's not examine that too closely. But this is just so cleverly done. I read it before. I did remember the kind of the answer, although it was about halfway through and a character suddenly said something and I was like, that's it, I remember now. So yeah, this is a beautiful edition. I would highly recommend this book. Check content warnings, because again, it is very dark. But if you are looking for a fun mystery thriller, I would definitely recommend this one. And yeah, gave this 5 stars. And thank you again to Charlie, who will never watch these videos, for choosing this for me. I'm so happy to have this to put onto my shelves. So those are the books that I finished. The rest of today I've got a few chores and bits and pieces to do. I am filming very slowly a try a chapter tag, which I just filmed a bit more for, so I need to film a chatty bit to camera for that bit. I do also need to do the next couple of rolls to see what I'm going to read the rest of the month. Like I said, I'm going to finish the board so that I complete the readathon. We'll see how many rolls it takes, obviously, and then I can make my TBR plans from there. But yeah, let's do that, and then I'll finish off this very chaotic clip. Okay, once again, I'm apologising for how rough this setup is, and I know that you can also see a bit of black in the corner. That's one of the legs of the tripod. I cannot for the life of me work out how to do this with my very basic tripod setup. However, we've got the board. We finished here, which was on Matches Your Outfit, which I'm currently reading. I also realise this is properly on the wonk as well, so I do apologise, but this is the best we can manage. So let's roll, and we got a 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, identify the victim. First person POV. Okay, good. That's our first one. Then we get 1, 2. DNA evidence, family related. Okay. Next one is a 1. Senior detective, published 2+ years ago. So we're up to 3 books so far. I do need to roll to the end of the board, so we'll see what we get. Then we get another 2. questioning time. So 1, 2, question the time, question in the title / interview. Interesting. Okay. Then we get 3. 1, 2, 3. Second body found, sequel / in a series. Oh, I know I can definitely read for that one. Okay. And then we just need 2 more at least to finish the board. 3. Good. Okay. Crack the case, 5-star prediction. Right. Let's find some books. This has been so much fun to find books for. I love this game that she's come up with. I think it's so clever. Okay. I do have one that I literally don't have a single book on my TBR for. So I'm going to message Chloe and see how I work around that. But I've got the board here, so that's where I'm looking. So the first one that we got was Identify the Victim, first person POV. So I didn't have anything in my like February priority stack for that at all. They were all in third person, everything I had left to read. So I've gone back to my TBR shelf and I'm going to pick up How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. I have heard such mixed things about this. Some people give it 5 stars, some people give it 1. But I will give it a go and we'll see. And it's written in first person, so there's that one. Then I got DNA Evidence, family related. So I put this one in. This is Mary, Queen of Sorrows by Alison Weir. This is about Mary, Queen of Scots. No, not Mary, Queen of Scots. Mary the First, who was known as Bloody Mary. And it's all about the Tudors and all of their family drama, basically. So that fits in nicely. And I'm very excited to read that one. Then I got Senior Detective, published 2+ years ago. So I'm going to pick up my reread of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I am, just for full disclosure, about halfway through the audiobook for this already. But I'm going to put it in here because I'm sure Chloe won't mind. And yeah, it's one of my reads of the month as well. So it's kind of pulling double duty. So there's that one. Then I got questioning time, question in the title / interview. I have literally looked, this is my whole TBR up there. I cannot find anything that's got a question in the title. So I'm going to have to message Chloe and be like, how do I do that? So I'll come back to you on that one. Then I got, what was the next one I got? Something about a series. Second Body Found, sequel or in a series. I really need to read this arc anyway this month. This is Tea at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. This is the 3rd in the Can't Spell Treason Without Tea series, so that's perfect. And then finally I landed on Crack the Case, which is a 5-star prediction. None of the ones I had left in my stack for February were like giving me the 5-star feels. They might, but I wasn't sure, and so I've decided to go back to my shelf, so you can see I've got space, and picked up House of Mirrors by Erin Kelly. I'm really excited to read this. I read what was the other one of hers that I loved the year before last? Skeleton Key. It was one of my favourite books of the year that I read it, and this looks really intriguing. I'm also obsessed with this cover, and it was a birthday present, so it needs reading anyway. So yeah, so that is my not so little stack for the rest of the month, and we'll see how I get on. It's the 14th of February, the lighting is terrible and I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards after the last day of term. However, wanted to sit and chat to you because I finished another book. I actually finished it on Wednesday when I last spoke to you, and I've had 2 books come in, both of which I'm very excited about. So I wanted to talk to you about them, plus I wanted to open them. You'll understand in a minute. So I thought I'd come and do a quick chaotic clip before we get into the weekend. So hi, hello. So the 4th book that I finished on Wednesday, like Wednesday was such a good day for reading. And I've been saying like I'm in a reading slump, but then I'm reading books. But it's that thing when my reading is in like fits and starts. So I'm usually someone who reads every day. But that hasn't been happening, not physically anyway. I have been reading audiobooks. But actually sitting and physically reading, which is one of those things that's like really important for my mental health, just hasn't been happening. I've been so tired and so busy. So it was nice on Wednesday to sit and just bash through some books and finish some stuff off. So I also finished on Wednesday Witchcraft for Weyward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I was very, very lucky to receive this beautiful finished copy from Book Break last month, I think it was last month. So thank you very much, Book Break. This is Grady Hendrix's latest release. This came out, I think, at the end of last year. I'm so good at this. And this is set in the 70s in a home for pregnant teenagers. And I don't really want to say any more than that. It's about a girl who goes there. She's given the name Fern while she's staying there, and witchcraft is involved. They are given a magical book, and it kind of goes from there. I gave this 4 stars. I thought this was really good. This is definitely horror, and I think the first like 100 pages or so like lull you in, and it just feels like a literary fiction about how unmarried women were kind of treated if they got pregnant in this time period, and you know, you get to know the girls and they're getting to know each other and all that sort of stuff, and then you remember that Grady Hendrix is a horror writer, and there is a lot of body horror in this. There are also very graphic scenes of childbirth. There's also discussions of things like stillbirth, miscarriage, abortion, all of that sort of stuff, and he does not kind of shield the writer from the reader even from any of that, so just be aware of that. Also, content warning for bugs. There's stuff with bugs that happens here, and also witchcraft involving parts of the body. Just check content warnings and just be aware this is dark, very, very dark in places. I gave it 4 stars. I like this a lot. I thought it was too long, and I thought he was repeating himself a little bit in places, but I did really enjoy it. And yeah, if you've been thinking about picking this up, I would. It's one of his, like, I think he's sort of known for writing kind of almost tongue-in-cheek sort of horrors, things like the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying a Vampire. Is that one of them? I've read like his whole backlist, but they've usually got a bit of like tongue-in-cheek humour to them. This is, I think, is his most serious book. And yeah, there were definitely bits though I was squirming because of the body horror. I would say in terms of his other books, it's on the same level as My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is a book I really enjoy, but the scene with the ice cream has stayed with me a long time, let's put it that way, and there's 2 scenes in this that kind of gave me a similar feel, so just be aware this is really dark, but if you can handle it, this has got a lot to say on lots of things, and yeah, really enjoyed it. 4 stars, so thank you, Book Break. And I've had 2 books come in. So today, like I said, is the 14th. So happy Valentine's Day. And at school, they always do, my boss, who is the head of the English department, and our lovely librarian, do a thing where they buy a secondhand book for every member of staff, and they wrap them up and they gift them to us. So this was mine today. This is my pigeonhole, and it just says the gift of reading from us to you. And I've obviously opened this, but I just want to show you how nicely it was wrapped. And I was told afterwards that I was the hardest member of staff to buy for, because obviously I read loads, but they found a book excuse me, that I haven't read and that I genuinely would look at in a bookshop and would probably pick up. This is The Raven's Head by Karen Maitland. I have not heard of this author. I have not heard of this book before. I really like the cover. It's very well loved. The spine is seriously cracked, but I don't mind that. And I'll just read you a bit of the back, because obviously I haven't read it yet. It just says, never trust your secrets to a raven when you are not its true master. 1224, Langley Manor, Norfolk. Lord Sylvian has been practicing alchemy in hiding for years, and now only the apothecary's niece can help him with final preparations to forge the Philosopher's Stone. Alchemy calls for symbols and victims, and when a man in possession of an intricately carved raven's head arrives at the manor in a clumsy attempt at blackmail, Sylvian has both symbol and victim within easy reach. But the White Cannons in nearby Langley Abbey are concealing a crucial missing ingredient, Regulus, a small boy with a large destiny. So it looks interesting. I will definitely put that on the TBR. You'll see me read it at some point soon. But I love that they do that. It's the nicest thing. And then this arrived yesterday, but I had open evening last night, so I didn't get home till 7:30. So I literally would have made even less sense than I'm making now if I tried to film. I know what this is, but I want to open it on camera because it's a special edition and it's so pretty. And I've seen other people post it on Instagram in the last 24 hours. I think it's even prettier in person than it is on the Waterstones website. So I can only see the spine. So it's the new Emilia Hart, and it's the Sirens. And wait until you see. Oh, it's gonna come. I'm gonna see it the front first. I'm gonna try and do it this way. The Sirens. Look how pretty this cover is. I'm obsessed. Look at the mermaid scales. And then, look at these edges. So we've got the hot pink on the top, and then the mermaid edges, and then the hot pink. Would I have preferred them to do the mermaid edges all the way around? Yes. But these are so pretty. If I get my face out the way. camera should focus. Oh, it's stunning. Let's have a little look under the dust jacket. So Emilia Hart was the author of Weyward, which was so far is my favourite read of February. Oh, I forgot that it's signed. That's exciting. Let's not drop it. Oh my gosh, the end pages. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. You're supposed to see this first, aren't you? Look at that. And is there anything... Oh, we've got the nice blue on the spine. And then I think this should be... Yeah, this is going to be the same the other way. I don't even really know much about this, except I'm obsessed with Weyward. This was her next release, and it's something to do with sirens, which is always exciting. And again, it's going to be like generational. It just says on the back, sisters separated by centuries, voices that won't be drowned out. And I am going to read this so soon. I might read this next week. I'm very happy with this purchase. So yeah, that's another book in my possession. But oh my word, that's so pretty. Okay, I'm officially waffling. So it's now holidays. Whew. It's half term for the week. I think I already told you, we've got grandma coming for lunch tomorrow. Then I'm going to my mum's in the evening. Spend Saturday night, Sunday with her, and then I'm off to the Cotswolds, where hopefully it'll be quieter than this noisy road, for 5 days to relax and recharge and create some stuff, create some content and read. So yeah, for now, I'm going to go and sort out my life, run a bath, and then the husband and I get a takeaway, as it's Valentine's Day. We don't really do Valentine's Day. However, I'll put some B-roll in a minute, because I did send him flowers today. And there's a wrapped gift for me downstairs on the table, so we clearly both ignored the whole "we're not going to do Valentine's this year" thing. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go and enjoy all of that, and then next time I chat to you, I will probably be in a tiny cottage in the middle of the Cotswolds. It's now the 18th of February and I'm in the cottage in the Cotswolds. I've filmed a whole Explore Siren Sister with Me vlog, which I think will come after this one. It will come after this one, but I'm not quite sure when. So I'll kind of leave that for that vlog. I think I've put a few clips in for b-roll. Cirencester is beautiful. Getting into the cottage was a bit of a trauma. I've been using Airbnb for like 6 or 7 years, and it's the first time I've ever had a problem. Basically, it had been double booked. And I talk more about it in the Cirencester vlog, but it had been double booked through... I'd booked it through Airbnb, and another couple with their baby and their dog had booked it through a different website. Oh, sorry, I'm just being distracted because there's the most beautiful grey tabby cat walking down the lane. Yeah, it had been double booked. Thankfully for me, I felt awful. I felt really guilty when they had to just drive home. But my booking was confirmed with Airbnb, and I got in the end. But yeah, it's been a bit of a palaver. I did have a really lovely couple of days with my mum. It's obviously really nice when Gary and Charlie and my brother are there and the rest of the family, but also it's just really important sometimes to have some one-on-one time, and it was time that we both really needed. And so yeah, it was just really nice. We just chilled, we walked the dogs, we hung out and watched some trash TV. We watched the whole series of Bear Grylls celebrity hunting thing. It was really fun. I cooked the chicken broth, which is from the cookbook that I bought in the January sale, and yeah, it was just a really nice kind of wholesome couple of days with my mum. And now I'm in the Cotswolds in this little cottage. So I've got 5 books that I picked up yesterday on my travels. I've got 1 book I finished, and I need to open this, which has got bookmarks in it from one of my favourite people. So let's talk about books that I bought in first, because these happened first. I do go into like more of synopses and stuff in the Cirencester vlog, but basically I picked up these 5. I've got Leave the World Behind by Ruben Alarm, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister, Piranesi by Suzanne Clark, The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. I'm quite excited about this one. And Black Candle Women by Diane Marie Brown. I picked all of these up yesterday in the Oxfam bookshop. There must be someone like bookish around, like Booktube or BookTokkie around Cirencester, because these are all quite recent reads. And yeah, I'm excited for them. So those have come in. On my drive yesterday, I finished my reread of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This was one of my February rereads. Was it? Or did I start it in January? No, this is a February. Yeah, February reread. Yes, because it was for one of the prompts on Chloe's board. I now can't remember which one, but you've just watched that clip, so hopefully you can remember. This is a reread for me. I first read this in 2021, I think, and weirdly, when I looked at my GoodReads, I read it in February of that year as well. So I don't know what it is about February that draws me to this book. First of all, a moment for that cover. And this is historical, romantic, romance, like fantasy fiction. I'm not sure. I'd probably just call it literary fiction just for ease. And we're following Addie LaRue, and we start in the late 1600s into the early 1700s in France. And she is kind of growing up a bit wild, and she doesn't really want to follow in her mother's footsteps, and she doesn't really want to get married and just have a bunch of kids and then end up buried in the local churchyard. She kind of wants more for her life, or what she sees as more. But at 23, she is being forced into a marriage by her parents. And in desperation, on the night of her wedding, she runs away, and she runs into the woods, and she basically prays for help or calls for help. She calls on any spirits that are listening, and she ends up making a deal with the devil. And in exchange for her freedom, he takes away the ability for people to remember her. So she'll live forever, she'll have a really long life and be immortal, and she won't age, and any kind of injuries that she have are very short term, but no one will remember her. And then we follow her kind of up to, I think it's like 2013, when a boy in a bookshop remembers her. And it follows her story, and it kind of, there's 2 timelines going. You kind of follow her at the start of the curse, her realization of the curse and what her limits are now, and her surviving through the centuries. And you also follow her and Henry, who is the boy in the bookshop who remembers her, and their love story, and also looking at why Henry, out of everyone she's met over 300 years, can remember her. And she also has the devil, the demon, whatever, it's never very clear, or the god that she prayed to, Luke, also comes in and out of her life, and you have their relationship as well, which is a very complicated one. The first time I read this, I gave this 5 stars. I have downgraded it to 4. I do still love it. It is beautifully written. I would definitely also recommend the audiobook. The narrator did a fantastic job. But I found Henry quite annoying this time round, and I didn't like the shift in perspective. So about halfway through, we start getting his point of view and his story, and I was like, this book is called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I want to follow her and be in her head and nobody else's. So I found that a bit of a kind of a little bit annoying, being in his head, because I did find him a little bit whiny. But I love the writing. I love the story between Addie and Henry, but also Addie and Luke, and the complications of that. I love what it has to say about women and the choices women make and the choices women have, and how things have changed or not changed over the centuries. If you haven't read this, if this is on your TBR and you haven't read this yet, I would really, really recommend it. And I did enjoy my time rereading it. It's going to stay on my shelves, but I did drop it from a 5 to a 4. So that was that one. And then the last thing I need to do, I'm very excited about, this arrived as I was leaving on Saturday. And so, sorry, that's the floorboards creaking. And so I just chucked it in my bag because I wanted to open it on camera. These are my bookmarks from Charlie at Charlie Book Reads. She has done a bookmark collection as a kind of memorial remembrance of Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, who very sadly passed away last summer. And Charlie is raising money for Book Trust with these bookmarks. I was obviously going to order them anyway, but obviously I'm a big believer in charities. I think have we raised for Book Trust before? I feel like we did maybe the first year. I honestly lose track of stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really excited to open these. I'm going to open them like down here because my name and address is on the envelope. I will link Charlie's Etsy store in the description, although she said on Bookstagram yesterday that they were nearly sold out, but I think she's going to do a restock. So I would really recommend, if you can, to go and support. I have shared it on my community tab as well. I'm gonna have to rip the envelope because these are packed really well. Look at these. Right, so they come like this. So it's Charlie, Jack and Jem. I wonder how they've done that. Charlie, were you all like literally in a room signing these? And these are the bookmarks. So yeah, they come really, really well packaged. Better packaged than mine do, I'll be honest. And it's a set 4. And there's one for each of the plodders, which is their like live show group for the Women's Prize. Oh my gosh, I'm doing a really horrible job of opening this. I'm sorry, Charlie, I've just completely wrecked all your hard work. Okay, so, she's put stickers in as well. So there's 2 stickers. So she sent me the heart-shaped bookshelf and Books Are Better Than People. Totally agree. And then these are the bookmarks. She's also backed them with a bit of cardboard, which I should probably start doing with mine. And yeah, these are the bookmarks. I will leave Charlie's video where she announced them because she can explain. She's put an extra note on the back. I'll read that in a minute and try not to weep. Where she explains each of them, but that's the Alice one, which, you know, I can literally hear Alice in my head saying, I have way too many books. I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah, and then you've got hello, and you've got some favourite books of one of the others. I'm really sorry, Charlie, I can't remember who's who. I do know this is Charlie's one, which says I hug books, and I really love this design. If I get my face out of the way, there we go, focus. And they're just really bright, and they say Plodders Forever on the back, and I just think it's such a gorgeous way to she says as she drops it, to remember Alice and also do a little bit of good by raising some money for charity. And what she said on the back, she said, extra note, thank you so much for all your support with creating these and the shop. I appreciate you. I literally didn't do anything. She asked me a couple of questions on how to create the bookmarks in the first place and set up the Etsy store, but actually I don't think I was that much help because she knew the answers already. She just needed a bit of reassurance, I think, which I am obviously more than happy to give. But yeah, I'm going to definitely start using these this week. And they arrived at a good time because I don't think I brought enough bookmarks with me. So yeah, thank you for those, Charlie. I know Gary ordered some as well, and he said that they arrived yesterday. So we'll have 2 sets in our house, which is great. Right, for now, I've been waffling for nearly 10 minutes. What am I doing today? I'm having a slow day today. I'm going to start the 24-hour reading challenge at 7 o'clock tonight, which there will be a separate vlog for. I've got like several vlogs running at the same time, which is confusing my little brain, I can't lie. So I can start that tonight. I'm going to try and light the fire. There's a beautiful fireplace downstairs. I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to have to do a bit of like Googling / YouTubing to see if I can find like a step-by-step instructions. I'm going to go for a little walk, I think, in a minute around the village, so I'll obviously get some B-roll of that. Other than that, it's just reading and eating. I'm going to make some rice pudding. I've never made rice pudding, but there's a recipe in that one pan recipe book, so I'm going to give that a go. And I'm also going to make a ravioli lasagna from there tonight. So yeah, I'm just going to spend this week eating, reading, creating, and resting. It's the 21st of February and I am about to check out and go home. You see my suitcase just there. I've had such a lovely week. You'll see far more of it in my next few videos because I've got a vlog where I went for a mooch around Cirencester. I've got a vlog where I saw how much I can read in 24 hours. And I've got a read with me video coming, all of which I filmed in and around this house. So you'll see loads more than I've put into the B-roll here. I didn't want to repeat too much footage, so I'm trying to make sure this is straight. But yeah, it's been such a good week. I feel very rested. It's been really good to be creative and just go at my own pace for once. My life is so, as a teacher, my life is so kind of regimented and timetabled and dictated by other people. It's nice and it feels kind of freeing on holidays, just to do my own thing. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing my husband and the cats, obviously, and we don't have Charlie this weekend. But it has been good just to have some time by myself. And yeah, like I said, excited to see the husband, but I also don't want to go home. Like, my ideal would be if he would come here and we'd have another week, but that's not how that works. I have, however, finished 3 more books since I spoke to you, and I've decided to DNF a book, so I just wanted to wrap those up before I get home. And then we're into the last week of February somehow. So the first book that I finished was the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I've got my trusty notebook, which matches my jumper today. This was the questioning time prompt for the readathon. I don't know if I've said this in this vlog or in a different vlog. I'm not sure. I've been filming a few different things at the same time. But Chloe had a look at my shelves and chose this one because it is all about interviews. It's all about a Netflix documentary. So we are following Belle. I was going to say I can't remember her name, but Belle, whose mother disappeared when she was, I think, like 3 or 4, vanished. And Belle's now 18 and a Netflix documentary is being made, and during the making of that documentary her mother reappears, and it is all about where she's been, who else is involved, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously I don't want to say too much or give it away. I gave this 3.5 stars. I have read a Holly Jackson before. I read 5 Survive, which I think I also gave 3 or 3.5 stars. I just don't think she's a writer for me, and the issue I have is that whilst the plot was like twisty-turny, I did spot the answer, but I wouldn't mark a book down for that because I've read a lot of thrillers and watched a lot of true crime, and when you've got a cast of characters, there's only a certain number of people it could be, realistically. Whilst all of that was fine and it read quickly, I just didn't feel any kind of emotional connection to any of the characters at all, which meant that I didn't really care what the answer was. However, I'm glad I got to read it. I got this half price in the Boxing Day sale, and you know, it was a quick, easy read. But yeah, that was a 3.5. Then I picked up Tea at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. This is part of the, is it Tea and Tombs? Something like that series. It starts with Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. And this is book 3 in that quartet. Didn't realise it was going to be a quartet. I thought it might have been a longer series, but it's a quartet. Yeah, Tomes and Tea. This is book 3. I was obviously very lucky to get an ARC from the lovely people at Book Break. And this comes out next month. This comes out in March. So in March, you'll see me open the beautiful sprayed edge, I think it's signed edition that I pre-ordered from Waterstones, which I'm very excited about. This is book 3. We're following Chianthi and what's the other one? Raina, who in the first book basically kind of leave their lives and run away together to open a tea shop. Sorry, the fridge in here is really loud, and I think the pump's also going, so apologies for background noise. They basically run away together to open a tea shop, and one of them is a really powerful mage, and the other one used to work for the Queen, was part of the Queen's Guard, and kind of leaving the Queen's Guard is treason, hence the first book, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. We're now in the third book. There's a wedding, it's very cute. There's an ongoing quest which started really kicking in book 2. We've still got the Queen is kind of circling. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this. This is my favourite. I think that's the whole man making noise. This is my favourite of the 3 so far. I gave it 4.5, which I think is the highest rating I've given it. I feel like the writing has settled into itself, and the characters are kind of properly broken in. You know everybody. There are some new characters in this, which is always fun. But yeah, I was just really comfortable and happy being back in that world and being back with characters that I really love. And yeah, I think you guys, if you've enjoyed the rest of the series, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. The ending though, I need answers. I mean, the final book comes out in August, I think, so we will get answers quite quickly. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed that, and that was a 4.5. And that was the, which one was this for? Second Body Found, because it's in a series, obviously. And then for the Cracked the Case, which was the 5-star prediction, I picked up and read The House of Mirrors by Erin Kelly. This was very kindly gifted to me by the lovely Ellen for my birthday. Just a moment for this cover. And I put this in as a 5-star prediction because The Skeleton Key, which was a book of hers that I read in 2023, was one of my favourites of that year that I read it. So I was really hoping that this would be up there. I gave this, what did I give this, 4 stars? Yeah, I gave this 4 stars. It was a solid read. It wasn't a 5-star read. And again, it's kind of that kind of family mystery. I wouldn't say it's a domestic thriller. It's that kind of literary fiction, family mystery. It's very dark. And we're following a family, like I said. So we've got Karen, who in the 90s made friends with this very rich upper class girl called Bieber and her brother Rex, and then in present day we are following, what's their daughter called, Alice, who has just opened a second-hand clothing shop in London, and we are looking at the secrets and lies of this family. And back in the 90s, Rex went to prison for shooting 2 men after an argument, like a domestic disturbance. And we are looking at the secrets and lies. Oh, and Bieber disappeared. We were looking at the secrets and lies, how everybody's connected and all that kind of stuff. I thought this was solidly written. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. There were some good twists and turns. I just didn't, again, a bit like with this one, just didn't care about any of the characters. And this time it wasn't a kind of lack in the writing as such. Like the characters were just so unlikable. Like Alice is really not somebody you'd want to be around, and so I didn't really care what was happening to her. So I'm sad it wasn't a 4-star, but I did enjoy it. A 5-star even. I'm sad it was a 5-star, but I did enjoy it. Gave it 4 stars. Thank you very much, Ellen, for allowing me to read that and kind of scratching that itch, because I wanted to read her next novel and to see if it was at the same level as Skeleton Key. And then I've decided to DNF a book, and I feel really bad about this because this was also a gift. Was this? Yeah, this is from lovely Sarah. I've decided to DNF How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying by Junglo Wexler. Excuse me. I got over halfway through this 400-page book. Is it a 400-pager? Nearly. And I was just really bored. I put this on my wish list, and then Sarah very kindly sent it to me because I saw a couple of rave reviews about it and about how it was kind of cozy but also a bit funny and a bit rude and all of that kind of stuff, very tongue-in-cheek. And then I also saw some 1-star reviews of it after I got it into my sticky little bits, but I decided I wanted to read it anyway. And it is fun in its own way. I just didn't care, and I was also getting bored because there's a lot of like walking in this book because they're trying to get somewhere. But anyway, we are following, who are we following? Davi, who has lived 1,000 lives. So every time she dies, she basically comes back to life. She's the chosen one, and she's supposed to be defeating the Dark Lord. But every time she tries to defeat the Dark Lord, he kills her, and she ends up back at the beginning. She's really fed up with this cycle. So she decides that she's going to abandon that mission, and she's going to become the Dark Lord herself. And she kind of gets together this ragtag team. So there's definitely lots of things that I like in this. There's found family. It is funny in places. And there's descriptions of food, but I was just getting really bored. I would also check content warnings. This book makes it look quite cuddly, I would say. There is a content warning at the beginning, which we love to see, which says, thanks to her unique, fantastic circumstances, Davi speaks casually about self-harm and suicide. In real life, however, there are no time loops and no healing spells. If you struggle with thoughts of this nature, please visit, and then give some places to go. This book also contains frank discussion of sexual assault. No characters are assaulted. And Davi has this very sarcastic but direct tone, and obviously every time she dies, she comes back. And it's also very descriptive of the ways that she dies. So if that is something that bothers you, or if you're someone that's squeamish, I wouldn't pick this up. But yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to pick it up and finish it. So I decided to do the effort. But Sarah, thank you for, letting me try it. And again, kind of scratching that itch is very much appreciated. Okay, I need to finish my packing. Tidy this place up. I mean, it's not that messy, let's be realistic, but I need to like strip the bed and stuff and make it ready for checkout. And then I'm gonna go home and see the husband and the cats. This weekend, what have we got planned? Not much. I would like to try and get the last few boxes out of our house, which requires me to decide where things are going and putting them on shelves and stuff, and I have been putting that off, but I would quite like to get that done if possible. I need to film the end of a video that I've been filming for weeks, which you guys will hopefully see at the end of March. And we're going to go to a couple of reclamation yards tomorrow to look for some bits for the house. So that should be fun. And then Sunday, I'll probably just be going, I've got to go back to work. Sunday scaries. And then, yeah, back into the hurly-burly of school. But for now, I'm going to pack up, tidy this place, say goodbye to this lovely cottage, go home and see the husband. And those are almost all the books I read in the month of February. It's now the start of March and I'm coming in to wrap up the wrap up. As you can probably hear from my voice, I've got a little bit of a cough, cold, lurgy thing going on, so I apologise for that. I've not spoken to you since I was sat in the cottage, I don't think. Mostly because work, as ever, going back to work is like running straight into a brick wall. And it's been a very intense week, to say the least. Gary and I had a really nice weekend before that week. Went to a couple of rec yards to try and find some bits for the house. Might have found a dining table, not quite sure yet. Didn't find any like little bits, but We in our old house had a lot of stuff on the walls. We're big into like buying each other bits for the house. And we have so much stuff downstairs in the conservatory that needs to go on the walls. I think we're a bit like scared to bring anything else in, mostly because like we're not going to decorate for a while. And also fun house ownership thing, we've got some rising damp, which means that some of the walls downstairs, all the plaster needs to come off, damp course done and replastered. So I think we're both kind of like, there's no point even trying to start to put things on the walls, even up here, until that's done, in case we change our mind. So yeah, we didn't find any little bits of treasure this time, but that's okay. And yeah, we had a very nice chill weekend. And then, like I said, I went back to work, and that's been intense as always. So I've got loads of stuff to talk to you about. This is like the wrap up clip, but I've got 3 bookish parcels to open. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books to talk to you about, and I want to show you my World Book Day outfit, like a little preview of it. So let's get into this. I'm just going to go in the order that things have happened. So whilst I was away, went onto Etsy. Having the Etsy app on my phone is really dangerous. I need it because of the Etsy store, so if people have questions and stuff I can respond quickly, but having it is a bit dangerous when it comes to random shopping. And for some reason, whilst I was away, I decided that I needed another what are they called? Book sleeve. Mostly because at that point I hadn't seen it. I have 4 book sleeves, a couple of which some of you guys have kindly gifted to me, but in the move I just hadn't found them yet, and so I ordered a new one and then came home on Friday and got rid of the last few boxes, aside from the stuff that's going to go on the wall. So now all of our stuff is now out, and found in one of the last boxes my book sleeves. Whoops, but I'd already ordered this and it had arrived whilst I was away. So I thought I'd show you. I haven't even opened the package yet. Look how beautifully packaged it is. This is from Grumblebums Crafts, who I will obviously link in the description. This came really quickly. It obviously had like an outer packaging. And yeah, that's all of their information there. And I'll be honest, I can't remember which one I ordered, and I've deliberately not looked, so it'll be a bit of a surprise for me as well. So yeah, this is the result of like late night Etsy scrolling, but hey, we're supporting small businesses as well as my book habit. Right, oh yeah, I remember now. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, look at this fabric. Right, that's like instructions. Let's put that out there. Look, it's so soft. This is like a Hessian, I think, on the back, and then it's got the little tag there. Look how cute this is. I mean, I saw this and I was like, well, my fur babies are all black cats. This looks like it could be modelled on Molly. And I really like the yellow. I felt very blur this month, as you've probably picked up on. And I just saw this, I was like, this looks so cheerful. I love the really cute button at the top of the ribbon. And then it's all fully lined and stuff inside. Yeah, like, I can't lie, I kind of want this as a sleeping bag size. Is that weird? Maybe it is. I'm so pleased with this. I think, I'll have linked it in the description. I think it was about £10, which for a handmade item of this quality, this is really good quality. I'm so happy with this. So this will go straight into my school bag with my school book in it, and the kids will love it as well. So yeah, oh, I'm so happy with that. Lovely. Then I also came home to a package from the lovely people at Chicken House. They reached out to me about a book, so I know what the book is, and said, would you like it? And I was like, yes please. And I gave them my PO box address, which is very exciting. It's been used a couple of times now and it makes me very excited every time it happens. But this has arrived. This is the parcel. It feels like there's like stuff in here, although I don't know if it's just because the envelope's padded, but I thought we'd open it together. Plus I want to show you the book. I can't remember when it's out. Oh, why do I always miss this? This is the pull tab here. Obviously being careful not to show my address, because even though it's sent to the PO box, obviously the postie writes my address on the front so they know where to deliver it to. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I can't remember. Oh, it is like a PA package. PA? That's not the word. I'm tired today. You know what I mean. Look how cool this is. Okay, so this is a dystopian, and I'm really excited for this. And the lovely lady that emailed me, I can't remember what her name is, which is terrible, said that she thinks dystopian's going to make a comeback this year, and I really hope so, because I love a well-written dystopian, like Handmaid's Tale, Hunger Games, 1984, Brave New World, like that whole thing I'm really into. And this is out in April, so I'll be reading this next month. So this is the like PR thing. So Survival is Treason, so I'll have a read of that in a minute. So that's the book, and then obviously it's kind of got some sort of bee theme. We know I love a bee themed book. And it's come with, is this a wax melt? I'm assuming this is a wax melt. Yes, that is a honey wax melt. That's so lovely. Let's open this. It's been a while since I've had a PL package from a publisher, and Chicken House always do it so well. I really love Chicken House as a publisher. They're one of the smaller publishers, and they're always really nice to work with, and they also publish really great books. Yeah, so I've got the little wax melt there. We have got a matching bookmark. We know how much I love a matching bookmark. Survival is Treason. I'm so intrigued by this book, and it's by Anna February, coming out in April. I feel like they missed a trick there, but okay. There's also a pucker tea, which is lemon, ginger, and manuka honey. Maybe I'll give this a go. Maybe that will soothe my throat. And then we have the book, which has been very beautifully wrapped. Okay. As soon as I read the blurb, though, I was like, yes, please, I would very much like this book, if you would not mind sending it to me. Here we go. So this is the ARC cover, and then I'm assuming that will be the final cover. It's so pretty. Survival is Treason. I love this like dripping honey vibe. Okay, so it says, out 10th of April, future queen lies murdered. Justice is merciless in the hive, a monarchy of tomorrow where a young bodyguard, Feldspar, awaits execution, guilty of being alive when her charge is dead. The girl has one defender, Nico, a royal maverick. Together they have 3 days to prove the impossible. 3 days to question everything Feldspar knows about the world that raised her and discover who the real murderer is. And then there's like a little bit of like the bump here. It says, a thrillingly original YA murder mystery set in a dystopian colony with fantasy elements. This sounds so good. Features a dangerous future monarchy, a richly imagined world based on the society of bees, and a hint of romance. For fans of Neil Schusterman, yes please, Holly Black, meh, and Suzanne Collins, definitely. Supported by a major PR and marketing campaign. Yeah, this looks so good. Do I want to start this now? I mean, it's March, so I can start this. So yeah, I will be reading this in March. You'll see this in the March wrap up. I'm very excited for that. Big thanks to Chicken House for sending that to me. I very much appreciate it. And then I finished some books, which, you know, novelty. Hang on, I'm just moving all the bits out of the way. I've got like piles of stuff all around me now. So the first thing that I sat and read and finished was Jane Austen's Table by Robert Cheesley Anderson. This was sent to me by the lovely Laura as a happy moving gift. I have read this and tabbed it up, and it's basically recipes from the era of Jane Austen, some of the food that's mentioned in the books, and then just general kind of Regency recipes. It's really beautifully done. It's all illustrated. It's separated out into meals, obviously. Breakfast, picnics, luncheons and light bites, dinner, trash and sweet things, and entertaining routs and balls. And I just really enjoyed this. There was also some really interesting bits of just information about Regency meals. I obviously haven't cooked anything from it yet, so I haven't rated it because I'm going to hang fire and wait until I've cooked some recipes from it. But I will be using this. You will see this upcoming probably over the summer when I've got a bit more time. But I love this. Thank you so much, Laura. He's the same author who did the Hobbit cookbook, which I loved, and obviously did my Hail on My Hobbit Day vlog centered around, so I'll link that in the description. But you will see this come up later in the year. I do have plans for this book, so yeah, thank you, Laura. First of all, it's just a beautiful object. Secondly, there are loads of things. Can you see all those tabs that I really want to cook from it? And yeah, you will see this later in the year. And like I said, once I've actually cooked from it, I will give it a rating. Then I completed my reread of On Chesil Beach by Ian McEwan. This one is an odd one. I originally gave it, I've got my ratings down here because I read all of these books sort of mostly last weekend. So I originally gave it 5 stars. I've dropped it slightly to a 4.5. And it's very, very short. It's like 160 pages, I think. And yeah, 166 pages to be precise. And we are following a young couple in the 60s on the first night of their marriage. And they are both very nervous about the intimacies of being with their married partner, and it's very much about growing up in this time period, being this weird kind of in between state, because it's 1962, so it's the early 60s, so they're kind of caught between their parents who were in the war and that kind of post-war austerity and strictness of the rules, and this new coming openness and freedom that the later 60s and the 70s, etc., would bring, particularly sexually. And it's about sexuality, and it's about repression, and it's about expression. It's about their relationship. You really care about both of the characters. I just think the ending is slightly rushed for me this time when I read it. It's very sad. This is a very depressing book, okay? If you're looking for a book that's a bit grim and a bit depressing and a bit sad, I would recommend this. It's beautifully written. Am I going to keep it on my shelves? I'm not sure yet. I'm going to make that decision in a minute. But yeah, that was one of my rereads, my other reread for February. I need more space to put things. Okay. Then I started this whilst I was away, and you'll see a video coming after this. I did a read with me video, which I think is coming up towards the end of the month, for this book, and you've already seen me open it because I was very excited about it. That's The Sirens by Emilia Hart. A moment again for these sprayed edges or whatever, stenciled edges, I'm not sure. It's a very beautiful book. So this is my second Emilia Hart book of the month, having read Weyward right at the start of the month. So I was very, very excited for this. I've given it 4 stars, is the first thing to say. I really enjoyed it. It's a very, very solid book. I just didn't quite have that extra spark for me of her debut. However, I would recommend it. So we are following, as she's done in Weyward, we're following multiple timelines and different kind of places in history and stuff. So we're following Lucy in the modern day, and she, at the very start of the book, wakes up and she is on top of a boy that she knows at university, and she's got her hands around his throat and she's strangling him, which she has no memory of doing, and she's been sleepwalking, and she basically panics and runs away. And this is set in Australia, and so she decides to drive to her sister Jess, who lives a few hours away, for help. Basically, she doesn't know what to do. She feels like she's losing her mind, so she gets in the car and she drives to Jess. Her sister Jess is an artist, and she lives on this really remote cove, which has got a history of disappearances, particularly of men. And when Lucy gets there, Jessica's not at home. She's missing. Her mobile phone's there, her car's there, but Jess isn't there. And so we're kind of following that as Lucy tries to work out what's going on with her sister. And then back in, so I want to say 1600s, but I might be wrong. Hang on, let's find a chapter. We're then following another pair of sisters in 1800s, Cork in Ireland, and we've got a pair of twin sisters, Mary and the other one, I can't remember. And they are being deported to Australia. They've committed a crime, which we don't know too much about at the beginning. We kind of find out as we go. And they are being deported on a massive ship and sent to Australia. And we follow them on that voyage and the kind of fate of the women on board, because there's like 40 women on board. And we're following these 2 storylines, and we see how they converge. And that's what I'm going to say. This was really clever. This was really well written. I really enjoyed it. I was very absorbed by it. I did think it was a little bit repetitive, and some of the decisions that Lucy made were just really weird. And I was like, why are you doing that? And there didn't seem to be like a logical reason. I couldn't quite follow. So I wasn't quite on board with Lucy. I loved the sisters, the twin sisters on the ship, and how that all played out. There was also a really good plot twist that I didn't see coming in one of the storylines. I won't tell you which one because that's a spoiler. I really, really enjoyed this, and Emilia Hart is definitely now an autobiography author for me, for sure. But yeah, I gave that a 4-star, and that's going to sit very beautifully on my shelf, looking stunning. And then this week I finished reading October by Katia Balin to my year 7s. When I say I read this to them, I literally read this whole thing out loud to them, and they absolutely loved this. I gave this 5 stars. This won the Carnegie Medal, I think, last year, and I can absolutely see why. This is a fantastic middle grade book. We are following October, who lives in the woods with her dad. They live off grid, so they live completely away from civilization. And she's grown up wild in the woods. And at the start of the book, she turns 11. And she talks about how the woman who is her mother left them. And October has a lot of kind of rage towards the woman who is her mother. But on her 11th birthday, the woman who is her mother, that's how she refers to her, comes to where October is living with her dad in the woods to try and see her. And October, to get away from her mother, or the woman who's her mother, she climbs a tree. She climbs a massive tree, and her dad climbs up to try and get her down and talk to her and reason with her, and a branch snaps and he ends up falling out of the tree and seriously injuring himself and ending up in hospital. And so October has to go and live with her mother in London, and that is obviously a massive shock to her system. There is also Stig, who is a little owl, baby owl, that October rescues at the beginning of the story, and we basically follow October and Stig through this journey of having to move to London and everything that happens from there. I just thought this was brilliantly done. It's got so much heart to it. It's beautifully illustrated as well throughout by Angela Harding. And I cannot find a single thing I don't love about this book, and I really enjoyed teaching it. So if you're looking for an uplifting middle grade, there are some sad bits, there are some slightly scary bits, but there's lots of gorgeous nature writing. I loved the ending. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one, so that was a 5-star from me. Then my World Book Day outfit arrived. In case you don't know, the 6th, I think it's the 6th of March this year, is World Book Day. It's like the first Thursday of every March. And in our school, we dress up. All the staff dress up, most of the kids dress up. So it's next week as I'm filming this. And this year, because where I'm working on the autism base, we're a new team, we thought we'd go for a nice, easy team outfit, team costume, nothing like too demanding. Can you guess what it is yet? Like, oh yeah, we're going Where's Wally? So I'm very excited. So I ordered this from Amazon. I obviously haven't tried it on yet. I will. It looks like shocking quality, but I can wear like t-shirt underneath and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're going to go for Where's Wally. And then of course I obviously have to buy a copy of Where's Wally so I can take it with me on Thursday to have for World Book Day. So yeah, that's what's happening with that one. We're almost there, I promise. Then I finished an audiobook, so I'll put a picture up here, editing Victoria, and that was Adrift in Currents Clean and Clear by Shauna Maguire. Again, when you start seeing my Cotswolds content, this will probably make more sense because I started it in those vlogs. But this is book 10 in the Weyward series. I listened to it, read it on audiobook, which was narrated really, really fantastically by Barry Krennic. This is book 10 and it was not my favourite. I gave it 3.5 stars. We're following Nadia, who is born in Russia, and she is born without her right arm. Her right arm ends at the elbow. And she spends the first, I think, 8 or 9 years of her life in an orphanage. And then she is adopted by an American couple who have basically been sent by their church to adopt a child in need. And they take her back to New York, and she has to kind of get used, adapt to living with them, learning the language, all that kind of stuff. And they also fit her with a prosthetic arm, that's easier to say, which she doesn't want. And one day she is in the park by herself, and she's always felt an affinity to turtles. She had a kind of a pet turtle at the orphanage. And one day she is in the park and she's looking down into the pond where the turtles are, and she sees a door and she goes through the door, and it kind of goes from there. And yeah, I didn't love this. I don't think it's going to stay with me like the others have. I've really enjoyed this series as a whole. It's a series I'd highly recommend. I'm kind of excited for it to be finished so that we can get a physical set of the books. I don't think this wasn't my favourite one. Like I said, I don't think it's going to stay with me. And also the end felt really rushed, because these switch between solo books where we focus on one character like this one, and then an ensemble cast where we're at the Home for Wayward Children, which is for children who have found doors, like Nadia does in this book, into worlds where they fit in perfectly, but they have then been ejected from those worlds, and they go to the Home for Wayward Children, which is, on the surface, it appears to be a school for troubled kids, but it's actually a school for people who have been through doors and come back and are waiting to go back into their worlds. And usually they end up there, and this one didn't do that. I was kind of waiting for that to happen, and it didn't. So yeah, not my favourite one. It was okay. I feel like I won't remember it like next month, but it's a book that I read. Okay, then I came home yesterday, which was the end of the month, to a book break parcel, which is very exciting. I have been spoiled by publishers this month. I'm going to do this, let's do this way around so I'm not showing my address on the internet. I have no idea what this is, so we'll see this together. What's this? Ooh, Emma Stonex, yes please, how very exciting. Okay, so this is the exclusive Southwest England edition. I don't even know what this is about, except it was Emma Stonex, and I really loved her debut novel. which was The Lamlighters. Okay, when does this come out? This comes out the 1st of May, so I'll read this in April. And it's called The Sunshine Man. And it says, in January 1989, Bridie wakes to the news she's been waiting 18 years to hear. Jimmy Maguire, the man who killed her sister, has been freed from jail. Bridie leaves for London with a gun and a plan to find him and make him pay. But there's another side to the story, and she's about to enter a world of family lies, worn-out loyalties, and long-buried betrayals. Did Jimmy kill Birdie's sister, or is he the only one she can really trust? And when the truth is finally revealed, will she choose forgiveness or retribution? A heart-stopping new novel of murky shared pasts and a fury-fueled present, this is a thrilling cat-and-mouse chase set against the salt-drenched backdrop of England's south coast from best-selling author Emma Stonex. This looks so good. Okay, I'm also very excited that we've got a Southwest edition. Don't know how that plays in, but I'm very excited for it. And this is a beautiful cover. Okay, so that's very exciting. I'll be reading that. When did I say it comes out? 1st of May. Yeah, so I'll be reading that in April. Thank you very much, book break. And that's all the stuff I need to catch you up on. Let's do stats and then you can go on your way, because this clip by itself is already 22 minutes long. Okay, got my trusty green notebook. So in February, I read 14 books, which is great. I read 4,635 pages, which averages out 166 per day. That's really good. It's not surprising, to be honest, because it was a month where I had a week's holiday. I am aiming for 150 pages a day in order to meet my 50,000 page goal for the year. Average star rating was 4.19, so I read quite a lot of books and I enjoyed the majority of them. I feel like it's been a bit of a weird month. I felt slumpy, but then I have been reading. I'm definitely back into the swing of it more now, so that's good, and I'm looking forward to my March reads. My favourite read of the month is got to be Weyward, and I'm going to have to put a picture here because I still don't have a physical copy of it. I really want, I don't like the pink paperback edition, and I really want a hardcover edition so that it can sit, obviously, with The Sirens by the same author on my shelf. I cannot find a hardback edition anywhere except secondhand, and I'm always a little bit nervous to buy secondhand because I want a beautiful edition. Also, Waterstones were doing a sprayed edge edition, but it's currently unavailable on their website. I don't know why that is. If anyone knows why that is, please shout me and let me know. But at some point, I will get my greasy mitts on a hardcover edition. But yeah, Weyward for sure is my favourite book of the month. It's my first read of the month. I actually read most of it in January, and it has still stayed with me. And like I said, Emilia Hart has become an author. So yeah, that was definitely my favourite read of the month. My most disappointing, I am sad about, but it is The Paris Express by Emma Donoghue. It was my lowest rated of the month with a 3-star. And it's not stayed with me. I'm gutted because of how much I've loved some of the author's other works, but I'm still glad that I got to read it. This book has definitely got an audience, and there are lots of people that will definitely love it. Like I said, I'm going to send this to my brother. But yeah, it's not stayed with me, unfortunately. My TBR is at 46 books. You can see most of it there. There's also like another shelf above, which means we are 6 down from the end of last month, so that's really good because I have bought books, which we'll talk about in a minute. So my TBR is now 46, which is good. I would like it to be around 50 books. And the oldest book on my TBR is still there from last month, and that is The New Life, which I got in August. It was a book my brother sent me for my birthday. It is on my March TBR. It is happening. It is going to be one of my first reads of the month, so that I can get that cleared down, because I do try and keep my TBR to less than 6 months, and obviously we're now over that limit. And then balancing the books. So I read 8 books off my shelves, plus I had 6 DNFs, most of which I've not told you about because there's a video coming where I do a try a chapter tag. It's not a tag, is it? Try a chapter vlog or whatever. You know that I DNF'd How to Become the Dark Lord and died trying. But there were 6 DNFs that also came off the TBR. So that was 14 books went off the TBR, which is great. And I had 9 come in, which I don't think is bad in a month where I went on a solo holiday, because I could have done a lot more damage. Excuse me, my hiccups. A lot more damage in the bookshops. So yeah, so I had 14 out, 9 in, which means obviously 5 more out off the TBR than in. And year to date, I've had 8 more books go off the TBR than I've had come in. So that's good. I feel balanced. I feel like I'm in control of my TBR. I'm also really excited about everything that's on there. Let's show you the rest of it. So just, that's the whole thing. There are a couple of books downstairs already ready for March. Let's try and reset you straight. You can see the edge of the cat bed here. My life is so glamorous, guys. So that's that one. And then my shelves. So of the 8 books that I read off my TBR, 4 of them are staying. So 4 of them are going onto my shelves downstairs, my forever shelves, and 4 of them are going out. There is going to be an unhaul soon, mostly because my husband's starting to look at me sideways at the amount of piles of books that there are around the house. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting rid of those, but I need to film an unhaul, so I need to do that soon. And I think that's it. I think that's all the stats. So yeah, February's been a bit of a weird month. I always find, I know I'm not the only person, but I always find January and February quite hard. Then we get to February half term, and then I feel like I can breathe again. The second half of the month's obviously been easier. I've read some really good books. I've read a couple of mediocre books. Very happy with this. This is so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and go away now, and also start my March vlog. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient whilst I took my break. It was definitely the right thing to do. I feel really energized. I've got loads of ideas. I'm excited for you guys to see the content that I've been filming through February, which you'll see throughout March. And yeah, thank you. I just really appreciate all of you, to be fair. Right, if you got to this point in the video, leave me a plant emoji for these plants, because these are going to be the only plants I can realistically keep alive, because I am not green thumbed. So yeah, leave me your favourite plant emoji just to let me know you got to the end. Please subscribe if you would like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.